On the 666th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me one howl of a killing spree. What's up, y'all? Today we're going to be talking about a Christmas movie, if we're following Die Hard rules.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Terrifier 3, with your favorite member of the Insane Clown Posse. What? He's not an ICP? I guess that makes sense. You really wouldn't want to have a mute rapper, would you? Either way, we're talking about Art the Clown. When we left off in Terrifier 2, and there are no spoilers in this video for Terrifier 3, but it does assume you've already seen All Hallows Eve, Terrifier 1, and Terrifier 2. Even though I really don't allude to many spoilers in those films, it does take them into account and assumes you've already seen them. But when they left off in T2,
I'll be back.
Art had just been resurrected for the second time, or I suppose reborn is more apt the term, as Victoria squeezed his fun-loving mime head out of her hoo-ha at the end of part 2. Victoria's story arc is something else. I can't recall, at least in a horror movie, any character starting off as innocent as she was and then kind of turning into what she has become. Again, no spoilers, but I feel like this movie should almost be called Terrifier 3 featuring Victoria the Faceless Demon, as it seems like she has taken the place of the demon little girl from the last movie and is now either Art's legit partner in crime or is being used as a tool by the devil or demons or whoever is leading the charge along the way. The one thing about this franchise so far is how much I find it to be discombobulating. Damien Leone, the creator slash writer slash director of all the Terrifier movies, including All Hallows Eve, has kind of developed the quote unquote story arc of Art the Clown over the past 18 years, if you can believe that. And I will say, though, part 3 is a bloody good time, it was obvious that Damien is still trying to flesh out what the story is overall. Now, I don't blame him. I think Art the Clown's popularity was probably very unexpected for him. After all, it did take 18 years for him to grow into what he is now. Art actually made his first appearance in Damien Leone's short film in 2008 called The Ninth Circle, but he filmed that in 2006. So Art the Clown has already been a part of Damien Leone's brain the last 18, almost 20 years, right? But in The Ninth Circle, Art the Clown's character was depicted in a much more human-like way, albeit still very morally and reprehensibly evil. It's only through All Hallows Eve and finally at the end of Terrifier 1 does the question of Art's supernatural abilities become absolutely enshrined and in stone, as he's resurrected at the end of that film by whoever, for whatever reason. And I think that Damien probably didn't think there were going to be this many sequels, to be completely honest. He probably thought Terrifier was going to be a one-off type of movie with callbacks to classic motivationalist killers and slashers like Michael Myers. Because overall, the movies are obviously meant to be way over the top, and they do so in such a good but unique way. For instance, is a scary clown anything new in horror? Absolutely not. We all know this. Joker, It, Clown, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the list goes on and on. Is Art the only slasher that starts off mortal and then as his films progress becomes more supernatural? Again, absolutely not. Mikey Myers, Jason Voorhees, the mythology of Freddy itself. He starts off as a human, and it's only after the mob of Elm Street kills him does he become the King Dream Demon that he becomes.
I want it all! Of course you do.
Then open up.
And you shall be forever!
So again, none of this is new except in execution and personality. You see, Art the Clown does something that those other slashers never do. He walks around in broad daylight. He spends a lot of time just around regular people. In fact, sometimes he even tries to just joke with them or drink with them until one of them inevitably is rude to him, upsets him, or offends him. And then he's like, well, gotta take it up a notch, if you know what I mean. Killing. He kills them. He murders them. The dude likes to kill. Also, let this be a lesson to all the rude people out there and all you bullies. It's best just to play it safe. No matter what, don't be a dick. That's my personal philosophy. You don't have to like someone. You don't have to respect them. You don't have to bend over backwards for them. But, just don't be a dick to them. And you won't get murdered by an insane clown that's just roaming around. Insane clown that's roaming around. Choke on the spit. Anywho, I think this franchise has benefited from, one, a charismatic villain of the likes that we have not really seen, at least in this type of horror subgenre, since Freddy Krueger.
Mr.
Even though Art is mute, his expressions and demure. That's not how you use that. How do you use it, Mr. Gen Z? Okay, you know, I try to keep up with the slang the best I can. Do you? Do you really? What's demure mean? You know, it's like being like you're being you, being demure about it. Art is mute, his expressions and demeanor, they seem like he himself is having fun. But then, in a blink of an eye, he can go from that all-smiling, fun-loving clown to an evil, maddening snarl faster than you can dodge his axe, or blade, or knives, or clubs with spikes, or acid, or even guns. That's the other thing that we have not ever seen in these slasher pics. Jason has his machete. Freddy has his glove. Michael Myers has his kitchen knife. Leatherface has his chainsaw. But Art the Clown, he has whatever is in that giant trash bag that he carries around. He is not afraid to use anything, including guns, and that definitely differs from most horror slasher films that we have ever seen, and I think that does show you something about Art's character. We ain't never seen no slasher use a gun in these films, and I don't think it would usually work, but for some reason this time around it does. Maybe because we as an audience are collectively and subconsciously tired of not seeing it. Like, we live in America, the United States of the Second Amendment. There's like more guns here per capita than every other country combined or something like that. And of course, with all our school shootings and just out of school shootings in this country, maybe it's more of an insult for us not to use guns in these movies, you know what I mean? Hello, baby boy. Come on in if you're gonna come in, or just stay there. What you doing? Make a decision. But I, again, think this does say a lot about Art himself. When push comes to shove, even though using acid might be funner for him, even though slicing and dicing might be more intimate, overall his goal is to kill. And if a gun must be used to do so, then a gun must be used to do so. I think Damien Leone, come on, baby. I think Damien Leone, the writer slasher director of the series, tried to make it more lore-based by introducing Sienna and her brother in part 2. She's supposed to be the antithesis to Art, right? For whatever reason, we still don't know. And no spoilers, but that's mostly because I couldn't give you an answer if I wanted to. They do not delve into that anymore. Like, it's still up in the air. So we still don't know why she was chosen or why she's supposed to be the antithesis to Art. The whole thing feels like Damien Leone is still honestly trying to figure that out himself. Also, man, this movie did go long. I just did a video over Smile 2, which was 2 hours and 12 minutes. This one was 2 hours and 5 minutes, but it felt even longer than that one. I feel like it really should have been whittled down to about 1 hour and 45 at the most. There were just parts in Smile 2 and stop motion that I think lingered too long, but Terrifier 3 truly has them beat. It got to the point where I was wondering if we were more so in a stream of consciousness type of movie, because in multiple scenes, it just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, hey man, let's wrap it up. We get it. Blood, gore. Let's move it along a bit, right? If you like body horror, gore, blood, and all that stuff, then it's for you. If you don't, then please do not watch this movie. Or if you do watch this movie, film yourself watching this movie, then send me the videos and I will use the funniest clips in a future video. Otherwise, stay away. It is not for the faint of heart. That said, I do have a bone to pick with the crowds that are supposedly walking out of it. Really? Why? One, if you just willy-nilly went to see Terrifier 3 without any knowledge of these movies or who Art the Clown is, the fuck is wrong with you? Are you psycho? Like, who does that? You wanna go see a movie tonight? Yeah, well, what's playing? There's a movie called Terrifier 3. Do you think we should watch the part 1 and 2 first? Nah, let's just throw caution to wind. So I don't understand that. Two, if you do know Art the Clown, then you should know kind of where we're headed and what the movie's gonna be about. But in my humble opinion, there was nothing in this one that was so out of control that it warranted such a thing. I'm even hearing people like throwing up in the theater. Like, okay, I guess, but then you must be one of those people that shouldn't have seen it anyway because you don't do well with blood. Like, you know, this film did get a lot of press because there was talk of something truly and outstandingly terrible that was going to happen. And don't get me wrong, something terrible does happen. But in terms of Art the Clown and what the movie was going to become and what they actually showed in the opening, I found it rather tame. Now, again, this could just be my desensitization to horror movies. Remember, I'm the guy that started watching A Nightmare on Elm Street at 3. I was 3. Maybe because in my mind, I really built it up. And that's again why I try not to watch trailers or listen to hype before a movie, because sometimes it just like messes with your expectations. But I was thinking maybe they would legitimately show Art gun down a bunch of preschoolers or something. That in our country and current climate, I could actually see people, walking out. That doesn't necessarily mean I think something like that shouldn't happen in a horror movie. Not at all. Horror movies are triggering. They are, by the definition, horrible, right? They're supposed to be. And yeah, some indeed not for everyone. Some types of horror is not going to please the masses, right? In general. But if something like that were done in the right way, not a snuff film type of way, I think nothing is really off limits as far as horror movies go. If we had that mindset or mentality, then no genre would ever progress. People fainted when they saw Frankenstein's monster in the 1930s. People shuddered in fear at things like The Blob. People were haunted for a generation due to films like Night of the Living Dead. The Exorcist made people convert to Catholicism.
The blood of the new and everlasting covenant, the mystery of faith.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Like, nothing is off limits, and as time progresses, the ante in horror is just gonna have to be up. That's just how, that's just how life is. It's pendulums, it's progression, and until it resets or whatnot, or that's just how it goes. So do what you're gonna do, man. If it's not for you, then yeah, turn it off, walk out, whatever. But as far as the stories of that happening in this one, I'm like, really? All right, whatever. Anyways, I rambled quite a bit there, but these are my negatives as far as Terrifier 3 is concerned. 1, it's too long. 2, there's still no cohesive lore, canon, plot, theme for these characters, at least in Art's case. I mean, again, Damien Leone created him some 18 years ago. Should be kind of fleshed out by now, maybe. Number 3, this isn't the film's fault, but people are being way too dramatic if they're walking out when seeing this, in my humble horror opinion. The good things, however. Number 1, Art the Clown seems like he's the first and really new, unique horror villain that we have had come into the mainstream probably since, I would say, the Creeper Creature from the Jeeper Creepers movies. Say that 5 times fast. The Creeper Creature from the Jeeper Creepers movies. Creeper Creature, Jeeper Creepers movies. Brrr. I entertain myself. That's what happens when you live alone. Right, buddies? Babies? But yeah, he's the first really unique one. Art himself is a legit slasher, and no matter what happens with his story and franchise, I think he is now embedded in the horror community. He's not underground anymore. He can comfortably join the ranks as far as other slasher kings like Freddy, Jason, Michael, Chucky, Leatherface. Art the Clown fits right in. Number 2, the movie is a fun movie. I would definitely suggest seeing it with a group of friends in theaters or at home during some kind of Halloween marathon. It's a fun time. Number 3, it is a classic gory callback to those 80s, 90s type of slasher films with an updated and new modern twist. That being Art the Clown kills with any means necessary, like guns, and he uses his costume as a way to blend in, ironically, in society until it's his time to strike. And a 4th and awesome thing that I have yet to bring up in any video, one of my favorite bands, Ice Nine Kills, who write awesome songs about horror movies, collaborated with Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, on their new song and music video, which is titled A Work of Art. And if you haven't seen it yet, highly suggest it. There's even some horror icons in the video themselves. And if you've never heard Ice Nine Kills and you like metal screamo, dude, check them out because they're fucking rad. So overall, what is the real value of Terrifier 3? It's definitely worth a watch. You knew I was gonna say that. Did it blow my mind? No. Did it outdo the second or first one? I actually still think that, at least as far as creepy and scary goes, the first one and All Hallows Eve were the scariest of the 4 films. But was it fun? Over the top? Shot excellently? Was it shot good? Absolutely. Acted in well? Yes. Lauren Lavina does a fantastic job, and overall it's a fun movie. Now, on the Scaredy Cal scale, it's a little bit difficult because, again, nothing to me was outright scary, creepy. These are more fun slasher flicks, but if I had to convert that Scaredy Cal scale, taking into account the blood and gore and shock value in that sense, then yeah, it'd be a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 because I still think there's room to grow and progress. So that's a glimpse into my mind. All right, Tell me if you agree or disagree with me in the comments. Did you see it? Did you like it? You gonna see it? Is it too much for you? Are you one of the people that walked out? If you are, please tell me why. I won't pick on you too much. Nah, don't be a dick, right? Okay, folks, thanks for stopping by. This has been The Real Value. See me next time, because I can't see you. Peace. Or as Art would say, on the 666th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. You want to make an appearance? Oh, it's okay. Oh, baby, I know. Classic, unscheduled, surprise visit from Lil. Okay, and Shetty. It's time for us to write a constitution and some principles.